Welcome, everyone, to Workflow Secrets Demo Day Live. This is 2025. The ultimate goal of today is going to be to showcase some really cool stuff to you guys. My name's Cody. I am one of the co-founders over here at Workflow Secrets and the architect of SAM 1.0, and I helped build SAM 2.0.
And my name is Mark Stepp. For those that don't know me, I've been in the real estate technology space for 35 years. Man, it's been a long time. What a run.
That's cool. Well, today, the ultimate goal of what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of put some connection pieces together for you. So we're going to be looking at how to automate your daily routines. These are AI-powered automations, as well as focusing on how you can take key moments to make those automations really seamless, and then ultimately driving what we call world-class client experiences. This is a concept that comes from our book, Our Best Workflow Secrets. This is a real estate agent's guide to success, even in a changing market. But when it's all said and done, Demo Day, the actual piece that we have on the website itself, it serves to show you guys all of the different technical features of it. And I spent the last 2 months kind of putting this together. Today, I'm hoping that we can have you guys walk away with a, oh, that's how you use it moment. So Mark and I are going to get more into the practical use and application of that. And we're going to have some fun. I will note, we'll hold questions till the very end. And then we'll we'll open the floor, and any questions you guys have, we can dive into and spend some time together. But without further ado, I do like to kind of share about our journey to this moment. And ultimately, I've spent my entire career over the last 6 years in real estate technology, and I've worked beside and worked for and studied under Mark, who has the last 36 years, I guess now, years of real estate technology experience. But over these years, there are some kind of key things that come back again and again and again. And it's agents who are succeeding will often share about their secret to success being systems and the technology they use to help get them running. But then on the other side of the coin, agents who are struggling oftentimes are spending 14-hour days, 6 days a week in the office, and they don't have technology that is helping move the needle. Now, these are things that we feel deeply that we can help real estate agents with. So Workflow Secrets kind of came about as a coaching platform initially, and this is where Mark and I built it. But it all really started to get the ball rolling when OpenAI launched ChatGPT in November 2022. And after spending several months learning about it ourselves, we thought agents could really use this kind of information. And so we started coaching about how agents can apply AI into their business. But as fun as these events are, people leave these events and they kind of leave with what I call the glazed eye moment, where they were super excited at the event, but they don't really know what to do next.
They'll look at you and say, oh yeah, this looks great. And then they get away from it and it's just don't even know where to go. And that's the challenge.
That's right. And so that spun me into my own personal pursuit, which had become the birth of the Systems Accelerator Manager. We call it SAM. And I launched it in September 2023. It was initially designed as a content creator for real estate agents using AI, just to help you guys save time. But as I was building out my business, I realized that I needed something to kind of hedge against the potential for success breaking me. And what I mean by that is I realized I was doing a lot of things manually scheduling emails for the different trials and manually scheduling social media posts and outreach and all these things. And I woke up one day and I was like, man, if I had 1,000 people come into my business you would think it'd be a really great problem to have, but that would probably break my business. And so I realized I needed to pull something out of my back pocket, which was CRM, customer relationship management. And that was when I started retooling SAM into SAM 2.0 by introducing the communication matrix. Well, fast forward to the end of the summer of 2024, I got the opportunity to actually bring Mark back into the fold, and he rejoined Workflow Secrets. And as he rejoined, I was very gracious for the help. The progress in getting that up and running as a non-technical, I don't have a background in computer programming, was very hard. I kind of gave you the mandate, Mark. I said, go build your dream system. And from that became the first AI-powered modern CRM, which we've called SAM 2.0.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know me, I have spent the last like we said, 35 years going through and just helping real estate agents with technology. I started back in 1990, 91. We released our first product, and it was called Advantage XI, and it was a Windows-based application. We had several thousand users using it, loving it, liking it, and then the internet hit. And then Mac really came alive, and people wanted to use Macs, and everything was built for Windows, and it just didn't do well. And then from that, I moved a lot of the stuff over to another company that I helped co-create, and we built it on a SaaS model, and that SaaS model worked well for a while, and then it started having a lot of challenges and a lot of technical issues, and just got to a point where a lot of what I was wanting to do was just not being allowed. I wasn't, because of the engineers that were there, because of the technology that was being used, is just things that we couldn't do. And whenever Cody said, hey, I want you to build your dream system, it was like, all right, this is cool. I can do this. And it gives me the ability as an engineer to just do whatever I want to. Now, I'm an only child. I broke the mold whenever I was born, I guess. But one of my favorite things to do as an only child was to work with or play with Legos. And I would work hours and hours at just building things. And it was being built, things were being built just out of my brain. Just, it's like, I want to make this, so I make it. And then you crunch it up and you make something else. And that's really what I saw in this, was I can take all these different tools, AI, the SaaS, all the different things that are available now, and build something brand new, starting from scratch, which was kind of a neat experience, because I don't have to deal with legacy code and old stuff that is holding us back. So that's kind of the fun part. And I appreciate you allowing me to kind of do that and just express the way I want to do it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So before we go too much further, I'd like to think that it's a good point to bring up, but here's what you don't need to be successful. And you don't need an MBA. You don't need a bachelor's in computer engineering. And I suppose on top of that, you don't need a big tech budget with lots and lots of tools. We've worked really hard to make a product that is super user-friendly, and it doesn't require a lot of technical understanding. And we've been really fortunate that technology has advanced so much in the last 3 decades since your current system was probably made, but more realistically, in the last 2 years, there's just so much that can be done. And we've been able to really capitalize on a lot of these modern concepts to build a tool for you guys that is designed specifically for the agent's success. And it's got a lot of power to it. So I suppose without further ado, Mark, let's go ahead and let's hop into the system. and I'm going to throw the reins into your court, and we can get started.
Awesome. All right. So if you have seen any of the videos that Cody has made for Demo Day, he's done an amazing job. He really goes into detail on different aspects of the software, of how it functions and works in certain areas. For those that don't have or haven't had the luxury of going through and listening to and watching that, it's kind of what this is. We want to give you a quick overview of some of the things, not a whole lot of detail, but at least calm your mind that there are certain features that are extremely important, and is it in there? And if it is in there, great, I feel good. If something's missing, then why am I even here? Whenever you talk about software, at least CRM for real estate agents, I see all the time people asking, what's the best CRM to use? And can you guys give me a solution that I can use? And looking at that, you get all kinds of responses from all kinds of people. And ultimately, it comes down to the same sentence of the best CRM for you is the one that you'll use. So you've got to make sure that you know what features are there, and of those features, are you really going to do it? Now, whenever you go to, say, Walmart and you buy a drill, you're not buying a drill just because you need a drill. You need a hole, and getting that drill is important to get the hole. You could get a saw and it could make that hole, but it might not be as efficient. So every one of the tools that are out there have their different idiosyncrasies, have their different abilities. And if you want to kind of dive in and see the things that it can do, sometimes it takes a long time to really dig in. And that's what we want to do. We want to shortcut that, just give you a quick overview, and then kind of go from there. So when you first come into the System Accelerator Manager, you will see the dashboard. And the dashboard, while it kind of looks, a lot of little things here, it's pertinent information. Once you understand what all it can do, will do for you, a lot of these things will be very helpful in just coming in on the day, doing the things that you need to do. So we're not going to spend a lot of time there, but there is a dashboard, and you can see a lot of the quick details of everything that you need to do. Over on the left-hand side is our navigation menu, and you can close it up, make it smaller, or have it expanded like I have right now. On the left, we will see this generations. Now, I'm going to come back to generations and show you some more detail on that. A lot of that comes from the details, the programming that Cody did early on as part of SAM 1.0, which are extremely valuable. It's just that we want to make sure that the CRM side first, and then helps kind of realize why you need the generations and other things. We do have a full contact management system. So CRM is the technical term, customer relationship manager. Whenever you come into any CRM, it should have something similar to this, where it's got a list of all the names, the phone numbers, addresses, stuff like that. You can scroll through them, see them however you want. One thing that we do allow you to do is very quickly change different layouts. Maybe you want to have a call list, and you just want to see their names and their phone numbers and go through that. Maybe you want to see phones and email tags, so you can very quickly go into the layouts, change layouts how you want, save those layouts, and be able to have access to them. Now, as you scroll through the names and do things with them, however you've got it laid out, once you pull up a contact in the database, that's really where everything actually houses itself. So we go into a contact. I'm just going to pull up mine for now. Some of the basic things of any CRM, the contact information. I want to be able to put in addresses, phone numbers, emails, fax numbers, websites, categorization and tagging, and all that stuff is there, just like any other normal CRM. We've got some advanced features of things, but for the most part, it's what you need. It is what's called responsive. So as the screen size changes, so does the field layout. So if you're doing this on a big monitor, you can see lots of stuff. If you are on a mobile phone or an iPad or something like that, the screen shrinks, but it's all the same. It's all the same information and how it looks. One thing that we have incorporated is an important dates section. Now, the important dates are things that can happen either automatically or through a series of automations that allow you to put dates in there, times in there, and then do some automations. And we're going to get into the automations once we get through this, but it's just important to understand that these dates are really, really, they really are important. We call them important dates. The personal details. So you can put in any kind of personal details of this person, their likes, their dislikes, their goals, their hobbies, things about them that you might use whenever you're corresponding with them. We have AI that can use this field and other fields, but this field in particular, for pulling out particular tidbits of things that might be of interest to them. So you might send an email or something, and because there's hobbies in there, you might have the message reference some of the hobbies or something like that, and it can rewrite and do some of the AI generation piece using data that's in the database. So a lot of CRMs out there, they're a warehouse of data, but they're just a warehouse. They don't do anything. They just hold the data. And what we're doing is we're actually utilizing that data for content creation, for the different things that you might want to create through the process. So that the priorities, their wants, their needs, their goals. This could be in housing that they're looking for. That could be virtually anything that is a want, need, or goal you can put in there, and it can be referenced. A whole section here for keeping the calendar for this person. There's nothing, actually, let me see if there's anything in the completed. Yeah, so it'll show anything that did get completed or is currently on the list. We have a section here for agreements. Now, with NAR recently, with all the debacle that they had been challenged with and the lawsuits, buyers agreements, sellers agreements, making sure those are in play and you've got all the details and stuff. We have a place here so that you can track that and at least make sure that you've covered yourself when you did it. Any notes, the terms, all that kind of stuff can be stored in there. Once it's stored, then it'll be in the agreements section. You can have multiple agreements. The social links, Facebook, Twitter, all of those different types of social media links, you can make them available, put them in for any particular person, and you have access to them. The real nice thing there is, you're getting ready to make a phone call, you want to check up on them, you can just click on this, takes you right to their page, and you can kind of see what's happening in their world at that point in time. Section for notes, section for connections. And the connections is something that I have wanted for a long time. And it's like, this has got to be in here. We keep each contact in the database separate. So husbands have and wives have separate records, but we can tie them together. Now, we've done this in the past for the husband and wife, but what about the sons, the daughters, the employees, the employers? There's lots of connections that people have, and there's people that are in your database that are related in some form or fashion. This is a way that you can link them together. And the nice thing is it has a reciprocal connection back. So if I'm here and I see Cody and I go to Cody's record and then I scroll down to the connections on him, it has an automatic link back to my record or whoever else is in the list. In this case, Mark is in that list. So some connections within the database to be able to organize those very easily. The files in there, keeping track of all the files that you may have sent to or received from this contact, PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, stuff like that. So just to show you, I mean, that was a very quick, look at it, but CRM capabilities, which is what most people need and want to be able to do, send emails, send text messages, all that kind of stuff. Next section, which is fairly new, is our properties side. Now, y'all are real estate agents. Real estate agents deal in properties, and that's why it's so important. A lot of your CRMs out there that are specifically not for real estate, they may have opportunities or things like that, but they're really not linked the way they need to. And what I did is I designed this so that you have at your fingertips the information you need to very easily. So I'm going to go to, say, 1, 2, 3, somewhere in time. Now this is a property. You can put all kinds of property information in there. Of course, the address, who's the current owner. As owners swap out, you can swap these around. Whoever buys this in the transaction side can get put into the owners of this, and then you have that information. But any of the details that you may have about the property, the type, the year built, the square foot, all that kind of stuff, bedrooms, bathrooms, cooling systems, some of the stuff you may not use, but it's there if you want to. Now, what's important here, these are things that rarely change. They can, if you're doing some kind of rehab or refurbishment of some sort, but the information in this section, it does have a date timestamp of when was this last changed, so that if it's been 3 or 4 years, it's probably time to kind of look around, see if there's any changes. Have they done anything to the property or whatever, and be able to do that. And then as soon as you change anything in this section, then it will go ahead and change the updated date. Similar type of thing down here on the property location. Where is it? The legal description, the property taxes, the HOA stuff, schools, zoning, all that kind of stuff about the physical location of where it's at. You can tag your properties. You can add important dates. And again, we'll show you here in just a few minutes exactly why it's so important for these important dates. But you've got all kinds of important dates of things that you may do. Last renovated, last visited, last plumbing update. Lots of things that could be very useful for some automation that comes to play. Again, we have notes and we have files. So this is all the property piece. Now, anytime as a real estate agent you have a property, your hope is that you can list that property. You can get the seller to list with you, and you start looking at all the listing information that's tied to the property. So we're linking the information properly. You could have multiple different listings on a single property if you continue to work with that property over many years. It sells from time to time, and if you're the agent for that property, you can certainly keep all the historical information, the details, keeping track of the status, MLS number. If you're in a franchise that has their own company number, all this stuff is in here for helping you keep track of that. One of the things that we've incorporated is party members. So whenever you get a listing, who are the different party members that are involved? I mean, you're going to have the sellers, of course. They are defaulted in from being the property owners. Whenever you start it, the property owners are the sellers, but at this point, they're the sellers. You may have a photographer, a stager, all these different people that are involved with that listing. And whenever we start using the automations, we may say, okay, on on a certain date, I need the photographer to be there. On another date, I need the stager to be there, or stager to pick up stuff. You've got all kinds of things going on. You need to know who are those people. And by identifying those people in the party members section, you have that ability to do the automation very, very easily. Section for the marketing information, These are multi-line fields, even though they're small right now. You can put in lots of detail. It'll grow the screen, but it allows you to put in detailed information that can be utilized as data that the AI can use to be able to create content, or just if you wanted to email or whatever, you can certainly do that. Showing instructions, lockbox codes, pets, that type of stuff's in there. Now, one piece that I did include was the estimated proceeds for the seller to know approximately how much am I going to make off of this. And you can put in some basic closing cost stuff to give them an approximation. You can print that off and show them that. It's an estimate. It's what it is. But here's the thing. As offers come in, they see that number and it's like, okay, I can see potentially how much I can make. But as real offers come in, you can then put those offers into the system, adding as many offers as you need to. You can go in here and select them all. You can print a comparison sheet. You can do the things that you need to do to get that information to that seller to let them decide what it is. Now, one piece that I was really interested in doing as we started building out this is, we're putting in all these details of information. What sales price, or the offer price, we will then know from that the percent of listing that they're doing, how much down, percentage down on that, how many close of escrow days. There's lots of fields of information that helps you record the offer itself and any kind of additional information that the seller may need to know about that offer, additional buying terms, the buyer requests, offers, incentives, those types of things are in here. There's a section in here for keeping track of the pros and the cons of this offer. Now, you can go in there and add your own pros and cons to each offer, or you can use our evaluate option. We click this and it uses AI to scour through the offer itself, identify the pros, identify the cons, and also gives it a comparison score. And with this, you're going to use your expertise to really evaluate the response there from the AI. But what it does is it allows you to see that comparative score on which one is better as far as the capabilities. It may have a lower score, but it may actually make them more. There may be some conditions of some sort that may make it score less, but ultimately they may make more if they go along with it. The whole idea is to give them, the sellers, the information that they need to make informed decision. So lots of good stuff there. Notes and files, again, same thing as before. Now, once you have the listing and the listing offer, the offer itself comes in, it's accepted, then you go into the transaction. Now, that's if you are the listing agent. If you are a buyer's agent, you're just going to go from property straight to transaction, and you're going to put in the transactional information that's pertinent to the transaction. Pretty much same type of stuff. You got the transaction details, the types, the tags, those important dates, those also important dates, the transaction party members, who's the buyer's agent, the seller's agent. There's just lots of party member types that you can pick and choose from, select them from your database and put them in there. Again, these are used for your automations, being able to say, I want to do certain things at certain times through the period of closing, from the time I get the listing agreement signed to contract, or from contract all the way to close. There's things that I can automate, things that I can do. And as those things need to be done with certain people, we need to know who those people are, the buyer's agents, the seller agents, all that kind of stuff. Again, we have notes and stuff. So lots of fields of information, but that field of information is actually utilized within the automations of everything. The automations themselves will create activities in the calendar. And once those activity calendar items are put into your calendar, then you can let the automation do the thing. If it's sending out emails, if it's sending out text messages, it'll get put into the calendar and then ultimately get thrown into your outbox, things that need to go out. If you're using straight templates, and we're going to get into templates here in a second, you can set it up so that it just sends it out. You know what's going to be on there because it's just a matter of putting in merge fields and it's there. But we can use AI to augment those templates. And in that case, we require you to go through an approval process, make sure that it looks the way you think it should look, that you're not sending out bogus information because of AI's delusions, and just a safeguard there to keep you safe from doing things that you shouldn't do. I'm hearing a interesting noise. Hang on for 1 second.
I think while Mark's checking that out, I think one of the most valuable pieces about the CRM side of the properties is we're going to have a single property, and it may have several different things that occur throughout the process. And so now we're able to record the different listings, the different transactions that occur, and they all stay within a single property. And so I think that, Mark, that is one of the coolest things outside of probably the offers. I think offers is a really incredible piece. So we don't have to belabor on that, but we can keep moving forward.
Okay. While I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and clear out this photography date piece. There is a process I'm going to show here in a second to show you how it is actually used. So
yeah.
Again, we have the outbox. The outbox just shows you things that are needing to be sent either by email or by text. A call list allowing you to see who I need to call today. And those are important. So your main databases are just these: the contacts, the properties, the calendar, your outbox, and your call list. Those are databases of things that you would do on a daily basis. We have some supporting features, which is one of which is the templates. Any good CRM is going to have templates. You want to be able to use templates to create standardized content of some sort. And, to create these, you can type them in manually. We also have AI that can go through and create it for you. Let me pull up an objective just as...
So one of the cool things about the template section, obviously you may have templates inside your Google Docs or perhaps in another system, but inside of SAM, we call them messages. And the reason we call them messages, Mark, if you want to hit that new template,
Yep.
I see where you're going. I'm going to lead you into it. So go ahead and go into that contacts. So inside the messages, what we're able to do is obviously we could write a message, and that'd be pretty great. But as sometimes more often than not, as our marketing guy, I find myself sitting at the document with the little blinking cursor, and I just don't know what to write. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. And so this is where Sam can actually come and help us. So on this left-hand side, clicking this little Sam AI button, it's going to pop up a message, objective. Now, an objective is just a fancy word, but basically what Sam is asking is, what would you like to write? And so we pre-wrote this just to make sure that it actually worked for you guys. But pretty simply, this would be a template for a first-time home buyer who came in requesting some resources from us. Now, the message we want to do is obviously give them that resource, but then we also want to kind of position ourselves as the expert or as the team to help them with this home buying process. And every good message has a call to action. And so that call to action would be requesting a time to meet with us. So when we're structuring, like, what does this message kind of need to encompass? That's exactly what this objective is doing. It's writing a message that can send this lead, and then we just hit send. Now, the really cool thing is Sam is actually going to write it for us. Now, is this a perfect message? Absolutely not. You should definitely go in there and apply your own expertise as the real estate agent and really start to tailor it. But here's the really cool thing. Inside of your settings, when you're getting your profile all built out, you can actually share with Sam a writing sample. And Sam will start to assign character traits of your specific writing. Are you friendly? Are you energetic? Are you professional? Are you upbeat? Are you fun? All of these different things then get factored into these messages you write. So not only is Sam writing it for you, but it's also going to be written to sound like you based on other writing samples that you have. So it's already just going to sound much better. And so now all you have to do is you have to go through, do a little bit of editing. But the fact of the matter is, let's say I would have spent 15 minutes writing this, and Sam just did it in, let's call it 3 minutes on the long way, and maybe we spend 2 minutes editing, right? I saved 10 minutes on one email. And, you know, by proxy of the compound effect, one of my favorite books, the savings kind of stacks. And so, you know, going back to this core problem that I find in real estate is people just 14-hour days, 6 days a week, don't have enough time. This is how we can start using a system to take back that time in little tiny chunks that are going to stack. You know, eventually we have 30 minutes, then we have 3 hours, then we have 30 hours. And then all of a sudden there's your week that you are able to take and either invest in personal time off so you can recover and be mentally sharp for your customers, or maybe you pump it back into your business and you really squeeze an extra transaction or two and you just change your family's history because of the financial gains that you could have from that. So the other really cool thing that you can do, obviously this is an email and I keep calling it a message, and I do that for a really key reason, because you can actually tab over to this SMS tab. And what Sam is going to do is it's going to ask us if we would like to create an SMS to go with this. So Mark's going to say yes. And Sam's going to take that email that it is pre-written for us, and it's going to look at it and say, what are the meat and potatoes of this message? And it's going to convert it down into the 160 character SMS message. Now, this is really cool for a couple reasons, but I'm a millennial and I don't like phone calls. I will check my email several times a day, but if you text me, I will probably respond more quickly because it is at my own convenience, right? But I have gotten so many emails over the last several years that you can tell it was supposed to be an email, excuse me. I gotten so many text messages over the last couple of years that were supposed to be emails. And when they're not given in that native experience, they feel wrong. And so Sam's ability to convert that not only is going to allow you to have both of those formats, but then in that contact card that Mark was showing earlier, there's even a field called contact preference. And so we can specifically, as we're working with someone, as we're learning about them, we can learn, oh man, Cody probably prefers text message. So I'm going to adjust his preferences to text message. Now, when Mark would be sending me a message, instead of it coming as an email, Sam would go, wait, Cody prefers text messages. And he would flip it into a text message and it would send off on to me. Now we have a much more personalized experience, which is just one of the core tenets of Sam. So Mark, I'm sure I stole your thunder, but
that's okay. It gave my throat a little bit time to rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's perfect because, you know, if you know a certain person wants to have a certain medium of information, let them have it. And the way we have it designed is if you've got it a template set up as an email, and maybe you've not set up a SMS message itself, then it will convert it for you and again require you to go and approve it beforehand. But this just gives you a way that you can set up both and use either one based off of the appropriate message that is needed for whatever purpose. So that's there. You've got all kinds of tools for creating that. One quick note, and I probably should have done it whenever I was in there, is if you have Dub as a video, basically you can create videos through Dub and incorporate those into your emails and text messages. You can use the little Dub icon. We've got an integration with them so that a video or whatever can be inserted right in a spot wherever you want it. I can come down here, click on the Dub, select a video. Actually, let me come over here to this. Maybe I want to take this video and do something with it. I can insert it into the email. I think whenever I went through there, or I can record my own message and insert it right into the system. I'm not going to worry about that, but just know that you can use the Dub integration to put videos in there. Videos get way more input or readability on them than just plain text. So definitely using that. The cool thing is the behavior. We know once it's sent, once it's opened, once it's viewed, that information is behavioral information that can then be utilized to start other processes running through the system. So really, really key to your automation business.
That's right. And Dub is one of our newest integrations, and it's been a really good one so far. I've heard almost nothing but positive reviews from some of our users getting to actually use it. It's very similar to, you know, there are several services out there. I think Loom, BombBomb, all of those, but Dub is inherently built into SAM now. And so the ease of that, you don't have to go seek out another platform. And that, I think, is one of the bigger pieces to it.
Now, the magic. This is where everything really gets exciting. Once you've got an understanding of the CRM, of the outbox, the call list, the templates, you can really see then the power of what we call routines. Now, everybody goes through and has routines. You have a morning routine. You get out of bed, you brush your teeth, you go make coffee, whatever your routine is, something that happens at a certain point in time, and in the morning or in the afternoon or whatever. There's certain routines you have, and SAM has the ability to create routines as well. The advantage here is the ability to take what you do in smaller chunks. The previous company that I worked with, there were agents that had workflows that were hundreds of activities, especially for the closing process. There was ones 176, 178 different activities that were happening from the time somebody signed the contract all the way to closing day. Wow. Maintaining that becomes a significant challenge at times. How do I do things? What we've done, and kind of the workflow secret of this, is bring it down. You know, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one chunk at a time. What we're doing is using those important dates. We're identifying those dates. In this case, I'm just going to show you one of them. DD for demo days. This is one that I'd set up for the a property photography for, you know, whenever you go through listing, doing some kind of property photography during that process. The whole thing is that it's based off of the photography date. So what is it that I want to do whenever I know the photography date? Well, I want to send a reminder to the seller. I want to send some property information to the photographer, send a Slack message to myself. And these are all different things that you can do and set up and have the automation set up to do it. just as a for instance here, send a reminder to the seller. So I'm going to look at it. It is set up for 1 day before the photography date. So we know whatever day the photography is 1 day before. And you can do 1 day, you can do 30 minutes, you can do an hour, you can do some variation of notification based off of this, giving it some kind of start time if you want. The duration is just how much do you show on the calendar. And then you can set up the action, the automation part of this. And you're allowed to have multiple actions for any activity. In this case, we just got one, but it is to send a reminder to the seller. Now, this is what's really cool, is that I can have it send automatically. I just check this little piece here and just say select for automatic processing. I have a few different actions that can be done. I can send a message. I can add this person or add a person to a call list. I can run a webhook. Now, webhooks are kind of the advanced way to communicate with other software pieces. Really great for being able to send postcards or different things. I was on yesterday with one of the companies that does personalized postcards. And maybe you want to send a postcard to somebody as soon as they list with you. You could do that through a webhook. And it could be handwritten postcard with information about you or the property or whatever that's being sent to them to do things. You can update fields in the database. There's lots of fields that we can update, or you can send a Slack message. And we're going to be adding more of these different types of actions, but ultimately, majority of them is going to be just that you're going to send a message to somebody. You can choose which of the templates. We just said you can make templates. Well, let's choose a template that we want, or you can say, no, I don't want to use a template. I just want AI to craft some message. And in this case, send a reminder to my seller about the photography appointment. Okay. We've got these little shimmers here that will allow us to see kind of a preview of what might get generated. Now, they're going to always be different. They'll be somewhat similar, but they'll be almost always different in some form or fashion. In this case, it created a message that would be sent out saying, hi, and whoever the first name of the contact is. It uses our merge field, so it knows how to interact with our software. Just a friendly reminder that your photography appointment for the property name 123 somewhere in time is the name of one of my properties, is scheduled for, and then the photography date. Please make sure the property is prepared and ready for shoot. If you have any questions, please reach out, and thanks. So it created this content. I didn't even need a template. If you wanted to select a certain template, a certain layout, you can certainly do that. You can pick that. You can also use them in conjunction with each other. So you could take the template and then augment that template with some additional information from the objective that you want. Maybe you want to spruce it up with something because of something in the system that you're always using. It's totally up to you. But what you're doing is you're selecting a message and what you're going to say. Then you can choose the message type. Now, we talked earlier about contacts may prefer email over SMS or vice versa. In this case, you can choose, how do you want to send it? Do I want to always send it as an email? Do I want to always send it as an SMS? Or do I want to use their preferred choice? And if they don't have a preferred choice, send it as an email or send it as an SMS if no preferred choice. So you get the opportunity to set this up how you want based off of configurations that you set. Who am I sending it to? In this case, we're sending it to the seller. Since we're dealing with party members, we can choose any of the different party member types that are in there. This is where it's going to look for the type, go to the database, find that type, and then link the contact or contacts to that message that gets sent back. So That's where all this automation, and once you've got the parts and pieces, just like Legos, you can start snapping them together and creating some really, really cool things. So that's just send a little reminder. Here's one for the photography, similar type of thing. We do have it set for one day before the photography at 8 a.m. Send a message to the photographer. In this one, we are sending a template, and you can click on that to actually see the template. This particular template, just to let you know, I used Sam to generate it. I just said, give me a list of all the fields from the property and listing that would be pertinent for somebody to know about the property. And it created everything. It inserted all the merge fields. Crazy stuff that you can do now with AI. And all in an automated fashion. Sending Slack messages, all this stuff is in there. So, and there's also times when maybe instead of being started from that photography date, so all of these up here are one day before the photography date, 30 minutes before, one day after the photography date. Maybe there's something that you want to start at the time that you actually start the routine. And we do have a start date option where you can say, whenever this routine gets started, I want to send myself a Slack message just to make sure that it got started as a reminder or whatever. So you can do all kinds of really cool stuff. But so here's the way this works. If we go to our calendar, and I'd cleared it out. So right now we don't have anything on the calendar. I'm going to go over here to the properties and go to that somewhere in time. Now, with somewhere in time, let's say we did get the listing, and there's multiple ways of getting those dates in there, but I'm just going to manually enter the date right now. There's other things that you can do. So for photography date, let's just say it's going to be tomorrow, and I'm going to do it at 2 o'clock p.m. Okay, so by the very nature of just adding that important date, saving it to the system, it automatically says, hey, I've got a date here. Let me see if there's any routines. Yes, there are some routines. And then it goes ahead and builds the activities that are part of that routine. In this case, there was to send a Slack message, send the photo reminder, attend the photo shoot, and then there's a phone call afterwards. So as things get done, and technically if so that one, the send a Slack message was an automated message. I received it on my Slack channel that just lets me know that I did it. So it went ahead and checked it off. So it did something for you. Didn't even know you did it. You weren't there. It's all automatic. And you could have been sipping on coffee, in the morning and, enjoying your time with your kids or whatever. So this just gives you a way to help relieve you of some of the things that automation can help you do. I can go over here to my outbox and see things. If none of these will be in there, but tomorrow they'll be in there for my approval to send. My call list, if I go to the call list, I can see here Mark Stepp, who was the photographer. On Saturday at 2 p.m. I'm supposed to call him, just checking in on the photos for 123 somewhere in time. Here's the phone number. Now, I do have it set up so that we integrate with Twilio. So if you have a Twilio number, your numbers can be in here. It's really important for people to have their own numbers. That's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But we do also allow you to, and I use a Mac, so I also have an iPhone. I can click on call here, and it will call through my phone and be able to make the connection and stuff. At the end of that, I can take notes and stuff afterwards and do some stuff. This is actually in its kind of infancy right now. There's going to be a lot more to the phone call piece coming up in the future that has to do with AI. So as you're communicating, as you're talking, AI can be, you don't have to do this, but it can be listening and making recommendations on what you should say, how you should say it. It can be dictating or transcribing the notes of the conversation, and even doing data input for you. So if you are talking about, I'm wanting to sell a house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Those bits of information are fields in the database. It could autofill those based off of that conversation if you wanted to. So that's still yet to come. I don't have that in there yet, but that's a lot of the things that we can do with AI and automate a lot of the processes.
Mark, before we get too far, I actually want to kind of like drill home a really important point through that showcasing that you did of the routine in action. So at the very beginning of today, I was kind of talking about the infancy of building SAM 2.0 and realizing that I needed a way to be able to handle a lot of leads coming in the door that didn't require me manually triggering it. At that point, it was 14 emails that I was having to manually schedule each and every time I had a lead come in, which is just insane. But the really cool thing about using those important dates is as those pieces of information come in and the important date is filled out, that automation is immediately triggered. Now, the really cool thing is that automation could be triggered on one person. It could be triggered on 1,000 people all instantly. And then if you take it one step further with that very first activity that you built, you used an objective. And so you actually tasked Sam with writing that message for you. So not only could Sam write that message specific to that person for you, but that process is being triggered automatically. And so now when we're talking about important dates, we have to just focus on each individual small piece. We're eating the elephant one bite at a time. But ultimately, it's just kind of rethinking about how we run traditional workflow automations, just like you were saying, from those sometimes 100-step processes that at times I was teaching people and working with agents that it would take them 2 months just to record that process. And then we would spend probably another month or two getting that actual process, that system built out in their technology. And so your ability to focus, okay, what is my world-class client experience? What's the best experience I could possibly give a client for the photography date? Okay, now I can build that because I'm single focused on that specific task. And you don't have to think about, okay, well, it's the full contract through close. And so I need to do this and I need to do that. And I need an inspection and I need a photographer. And then I need to contact them. And it's too much. And so your ability to zoom in is just so absolutely important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one piece that I don't have in here, I really wanted to have it for demo days, but it is coming, is even this can look overwhelming if you don't think about it. I mean, it is very basic as far as the layout and stuff. There's a lot of stuff on the screen, but we will be adding very soon a button on here where we can use AI to actually create these. So we'll say, okay, I need a new lead nurture email series. Maybe every other day, I want to send a message to my first-time home buyers that helps them understand things that they need to know about first-time home buyers. I mean, first-time homes, things that they may or may not know. So what it can do is it will be able to create all of the workflow itself, and in each routine I said workflow. It'll create the routine, and the routine itself, if it needs a message, it can craft the message and attach it to it. And then all you have to do is go in there and look at it and make sure that it's what you want to say and do and stuff. And each message would be some other piece of information that a first-time home buyer might want to know. So now we're creating systems with AI.
That's really cool. Yeah. And I think not only are we creating those, just thinking about, like I said, 2 months and then another month to build it. Like now all you have to do is think about the process you want to accomplish. You're in luck because you can look at each of those important dates to get an idea of like, okay, I need to build one for the birthday. I need to build one for the anniversary. I need to build one inside our photography process. Like all of these different processes, you just have to focus on, again, what is my world-class client experience? And then you're well on your way.
Yeah. And you don't have to have the entire workflow done. Just start working on one date, one thing. What would help you the most for some automation to do during that listing process or during that closing process? Just pick one thing and let it create it and let it automate just that one thing. And then, okay, that works well. That does everything. I can tweak it if I need to. I can do the things that I need to do to enhance it and make it better. Or I can go to the next thing and then the next and then the next. And eventually you do have the entire workflow through multiple routines. That's the secret, is that you can create what you want, but you're just focusing on one small piece at a time. You don't have to see the whole thing. You just want to know what's next whenever XYZ happens.
That's right. So Mark, this kind of leads into a really interesting segue, but we are in our demo account and we do have access to something that you are on the cusp of finishing. Not only do you have a builder for these routines, but it's kind of popular, hot news in the AI world. Everyone's talking about the AI agents, and these agents are just like little robots inside your computer, if you want to think of it that way. But Mark, you've been working really hard. I do believe the other night you said you were up till 4 a.m. Playing around with your Legos, if you will. But
I get excited about things, and then I just kind of dig in and I'm not ready to go to bed. I just want to do this. Yeah, this is something, there's lots of, and I'm going to call them gurus that are AI agent gurus or no code types of people that will allow you to see their process. They'll go through and they'll say, okay, I'll create this AI to go do this, that, and the other thing, and it doesn't take any code. But what they're doing is they're going through and they're creating prompts and scripts and things that will automate the process, but maintaining that is going to be a bear. It's going to be a real challenge. And if you let them as coaches or whatever create it for you, you don't know what it is. You don't know how they all piece together. It really becomes a challenge for you to maintain it. Now you're really tied to whoever designed that piece for you to maintain it, and that becomes a challenge. So one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was really make it so that the agent, you, the user, can very easily create AI agents, which, I mean, it's an AI assistant, okay? So Sam, Systems Accelerator Manager, is an AI assistant, okay? And in fact, if you were to look kind of behind the scenes, a lot of the things that Sam does, Sam built. So a lot of the code that was actually created to create this, all I've been having to do is go in there and say, okay, I want this particular feature. I want to do this, that, or the thing. I want it to look like this. And then it can create all the code, which is fabulous for me as an engineer. But then I just have to go in there and tweak it and make it look the way I really want it to look. It's not 100%, but it gets you 70, 80% of the way there. Same thing goes for you guys. We can set this up so that you have a virtual team. And that virtual team may be like you've got a lead nurture manager. You got somebody that handles the leads that come in and nurtures them with messages and stuff. That can be an AI. And what you can do is on any of these, we'll be able to come in here, edit the manager, and put in the detailed description of what they do, what they're responsible for, and all that, save that, so that whenever, and something that I don't have on this chart yet is the input. So maybe you have an input from an email that comes in, and Sam needs to do something. It notices that it's about a lead, so it throws it to the lead manager. Lead manager AI does its thing, creates whatever. It knows it needs to craft the email, so it sends it to its specialist, an email writer specialist. That specialist creates that content, and then either sends it by SendGrid or sends it by Gmail, or just puts it in your outbox. Then it reports back, hey, this is what it looks like. Now, you may want to say, well, have the manager check it first and then send it out. So you can do it a couple different ways, but however you want to do it gives you that capability of doing some AI. So the whole thought of this is, especially if you go out to YouTube or whatever, just do a search for no code automations. And there's thousands of them. People that are creating these chat GPT agents, but maintaining those will be a bear. What I'm doing here is allow you to maintain it right in one place, in a organized manner that is easily maintained.
And oftentimes what you see with these, oftentimes they're called like AI agent consultants, right? And a lot of people are familiar with services Zapier, which allows you to send information to other places. But essentially that's what they're doing, is they're just shuffling information around to create tasks. It just happens to be on the AI side, but they hold the keys to the kingdom. And it's even worse if you don't know what they're doing. And so not only do you have it in one platform, but you control it, but then also, Mark, as soon as you get this rolled, my intention is to actually start building out some agents that we can just release to the users. For me personally, one of the top priorities is content creation. You know, I've got to share about workflow secrets, and I've got to do it a lot. And I prefer being on video because I can have conversations like this. I can share demo day stuff and I can riff. But the really cool thing is I could have an agent that goes and takes that YouTube video that I post, grabs the transcript, takes that transcript, converts it into pieces of content. Maybe it's a blog article, maybe it's a couple social media posts, but then I'm using that relevant content to create more content. And oftentimes that's 80% of my day. So if I was able to use an agent to just completely do that, again, and it probably would take 10 minutes for the agent to do it. And then the agent can send it to me to proof. And then after I proof it, it just goes and posts it. Boom. And so the idea, that's super helpful for me, but I guarantee agents also need social media content. And so that same concept is applicable. And so my intention, as soon as you get this rolled, I'm just going to start building out agents that can help all of us. And so not only do you have the ability to build these, but then you're going to have access to them as well. And I'm just so stoked about this, Mark. This is one of the coolest things ever. And it kind of leads up to this overarching path that you and I have conversations about all the time. But I would say in the next 10 years is like the most conservative guess. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's the next 5 years. What happens is these agents actually start to replace our systems. And so what that looks like is just like you would talk to one of your devices, or you would talk to your phone with Siri or the Cortana. These agents are going to be able to be interacted with. So now imagine you're going from a showing to another meeting, and you're having a conversation with your CRM. Let's call it Sam, because hopefully we can win you over. But as you're having this conversation, Sam is sending out these agents to go do things. Now, are you still going to have a portal that is on a desktop or a laptop or a tablet? Absolutely. But you're probably not going to use it as often. So this idea that now you as the real estate agent's role shifts from having to work in your technology to having your technology work for you as you go be a great real estate agent. You build relationships with your clients and build those repeat referral pipelines of, I offered a great service and people just shared about me and sent me more business. So this is just something that I'm so excited about.
Last thing, and I know we're going to be getting close to time here pretty soon. I want to go back to the generations, and this stems back to what you originally created and some of the feature and functionality of it. We do have some training and stuff on it in the video training. There's stuff there that you can watch. This does go through my core strategies pieces. I mean, every real estate agent has what I call the core strategies in their business. They just don't know it necessarily. And it's a framework for conversions, operations, retention, and those three then are wrapped in an experience of some sort, hopefully a world-class experience. But what we've done is we've made it a way that you can generate content. And that's what Cody started off doing. He also created this thing called a quest. And there's a whole nother backstory behind quests themselves, but there's different things that you can do to help improve your business through these quests. And these are, things that you need to think through and do. And during the sales and negotiation, what should you do? Market analysis and research, whatever. Here's a business planning and goal setting. Now, some of these, if you've got a trial, you won't have access to everything, but the getting started you do, and the business planning, we've opened it up for people for demo days to have access to. So what this does is this allows you to use AI to help augment your ideology, be able to think about things that you want to do. In this case, a 2025 goal setting. Maybe for your own business, I want to do some kind of goal setting. So you can come in here, click the little play button. And I've done this a few times, so it's showing some of the ones I've already generated. I'm just going to say, start a new quest. And so what it does is says, okay, based off of them wanting to do a 2025 goal setting session, here are some questions I need you to answer. So it came up with the questions. It came up with some answers that are adequate for the question, but it's not your answer. So you would want to go through and you want to put in what we call a refinement answer. It's how do you refine the overall generation of this? So you're going to put in, what are your short-term goals for first-time home buyers? And it's doing that because the niche that this particular Cody is in there, we had selected first-time home buyers. So it knew that we're dealing with Cody. It knew that we were dealing with, he has a niche in first-time home buyers as a marketing plan type thing. So how can we deal with that? So what's your goals? What's your long-term goals? What's your target income? And you can just type in the information in here, be as verbose as you want to be. If there's some question that's just not pertinent, you can thumbs down on it. It will skip over it. If you want to turn it back on, you can thumbs up it. But the whole idea here is answer these questions. Now, you could go out to ChatGPT right now and you can say, help me with a business plan. I specialize in first-time home buyers. I'm a real estate agent. You could specify all that, and it will come up with a lot of content. It's going to ask you a lot of questions, but you know what? It's going to be question after question after question in one big block. So in order to answer that, you're going to have to cut, copy, paste. You're going to have to answer the question, cut, copy, paste, answer the other question or a big block, and then type in everything. And hopefully you don't press enter too soon because it will start generating the content. But what we do is we break it up into individual fields. We take that content that was generated by AI, by ChatGPT, and we allow you to type the information in there. Then you can click on continue. Now, what it does is it takes what it knows about you, what you've described in these pieces of information here, and it starts the process of building that business plan. So, here's some kind of an outline of the strategies for implementing marketing, enhancing services, streamlining processes. These are all different things that you should do, could do, whatever, and which is good. Things that you would want to incorporate into your business. We also have the ability to expand this. So right now, the content on this is 487 words that was generated in 9 seconds. A lot of good stuff there, but maybe we want to expand it. We want to expand. There's certain sections. We could go in there and select certain sections, or maybe we just want to expand all the content. So what it then does is it looks at the individual pieces. It says, okay, let's start working the plan and giving more detail on each of them. So right now it's working on the strategies and goals. Strategies piece. It has moved to services and expertise, and it's just going through and enhancing the content as we go along. Section 3, it's now working on that, and now working on the conclusion, and boom, now we have a lot more stuff. What do we have now? 1,800 words. So man, I would have loved to have had this in high school to be able to write my essays, expand. But, now we have some meat and we can do stuff. So you can do all kinds of stuff, and then you can save that information. You can return back to your quests after doing that. We've got another one here. It's for goal setting for your conversations. How many conversations should I have in order to get my income goal? I'm going to start a new one on this again. So in this case, it's going to say, okay, what was last year's average sales price? It's got a number in there, whether it's right. Put in whatever number that you want it to be. Maybe we've got some houses, hopefully they're still there in California. Sorry for all the people that are losing their houses right now. That is some deal. Our prayers are with you. What was your average commission? You can put in, whatever number you go in there and put. I'm just throwing in some numbers. I don't know. I'm sure they're not even close to right. But maybe I want to make $1 million this year. So I just type that in. So now, based off of the questions that it's asked and the information that I've entered, it's using AI to be able to create the numbers. And it says basically you need to have 1,600 annual conversations, monthly 145. That means daily you need to talk to at least 7 people. Wow. Now I can use that. I could save that piece. And it's something that I don't have in there yet, but I intend to use this information then to feed back to our goals for what we were showing off of our dashboard. here for our number of calls. How many calls have I attempted today? I can just come in here and do them manually if I want. If I use my call list, it can automatically add stuff to it. How many times did I leave messages? How many conversations did I have? Well, my goal every day is to reach 7 conversations now in order for me to reach my $1 million of income for the year. So the whole goal there is to set appointments. The more appointments you set and actually meet with, appointments that have been met, hopefully we get some listing agreements signed, some buyer agreements signed. How many contracts? Now these numbers can be automatically, based off of closing and stuff, can be automatically tallied. I'm just doing them manually just to show you. And then how many buy side and listing side deals have I closed? And then after the week, I can see my weekly totals. I can come up here and see, did I meet my weekly goals? Did I meet my monthly goals? All of these things are what helps keep you on track in your business and making sure that you are going for the goal. So.
Absolutely, man. And this is such a cool function because it allows us, again, it comes back to that eating the elephant. And we can do that by looking at each of those small efforts that are going to stack up the compound effect. And man, seven calls a day or conversations a day, and we reach that goal. That's going to keep you motivated to get those, because you know exactly where you're headed and you know what small daily actions are going to be required. So Mark, that's pretty great, but we are getting close to time. So if you want to pop back to that slideshow, let's send them on home. But before we go, let's do a little recap. So to recap, we really focused in on showing you guys how you can not only build these routines, these modern AI-powered automated workflows, but hopefully you understand a little bit better about how you can use those important dates to trigger those really quickly, and then how you can start shifting your focus to creating those personalized world-class client experiences with custom messages that are specific to the person, yet could be sent at scale, as well as building those into each and every one of those interactions. We've got just a few more minutes left for Q&A. If anyone's got any questions, feel free and throw those in the comments, and we'll go ahead and we'll field any last minute questions or any statements that you guys have.
We had a question on importing. So built into the system, so if you've got contacts, we do have the ability to import those contacts through a CSV file. Also, which is kind of an option, is if you are looking at somebody's maybe LinkedIn profile or Facebook information or whatever, you can cut, copy, and then you can also paste that right into here, and AI can parse out the information and automatically add them to the database as well. But if you've got a CSV file, we can import that CSV very easily. Selecting a file, you can take that CSV file and import it. Now, what it does is it says, okay, we've got a CSV file. Let's use AI then to decide what fields go where. So it found that first name, last name fields, these are the header of the CSV file. How do we want it put into our system, and allows you to pick and choose that. And if there's any other fields that you want to change or do, you can certainly set those up how you want. So once you've got that selected, you scroll down to the bottom, click on begin import, and it will import those names and information into the database.
Excellent. Well, it's not looking like we've got any other questions, Mark. So if you want to pop back, we'll just send it on home.
All right.
Well, everyone, I'm really grateful for you guys coming and hanging out with us for the last about 90 minutes. And hopefully this has been a really fun event for you. Hopefully you've gotten to maybe just see what the future holds for real estate CRMs. Maybe we've swayed you that SAM would be the right solution for you. And ultimately, there are a lot of really cool things that are happening. And I feel really grateful that I get to live on what sometimes is considered the cutting edge. But we're out here, Mark and I, we have devoted our entire career to helping real estate agents succeed in their business through using technology. And Sam is a testament to that. So I really appreciate your guys' time. If you have not yet gotten to check out all of the videos at our Workflow Secrets Demo Day, go ahead and hop over there, check them out. You can see each of those features. And outside of that, if you feel like Sam is the right solution for you, I cannot encourage you anymore. But hop over to workflowsecrets.info/Sam exclusive, and that'll take you to an order form. You can get signed up. And once you're signed up, you'll have access. Other than that, I think that's about it for me. What about you, Mark?
Appreciate everybody. Thank you, Cody, for giving me the opportunity to build my dream machine. The whole idea of creating this, and the thing is we're just at the cusp of what it can do. There's so much more that I wish I don't have. Actually, I do have 4 of them here. I've got a total of 6 of these books, and I've got them all like little notched or whatever here. These are ideas. These are things that I still have yet to implement and do. We're just beginning. I won't pretend that we've been around for a long time. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of things. I know what we want. Technology now is at a point where we can recreate and we can create new things in lightning fast time and still be able to, do some great things. So I'm so excited about it and the opportunity. I hope the agents are, especially those that know me, have spent. I've helped tens of thousands of real estate agents become more successful. I've worked with several, probably 100 different coaches behind the scene on their coaching of real estate agents. So I know what goes into this business, and it's not just a matter of having a programmer that wants to create something for real estate agents. It's knowing what's there and what is needed, and that's what's important. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. I really am enjoying my time so far.